And I didn't mute you yet either. Wow. Oh, and here comes Joanna's coming as well. She is a member here in Syracuse. So let me get her in here. And then I'm going to mute you all. Okay, so once again, I think Joanna's joining us down here. Happy Women's History Month, the best month of the year. I posted a picture of it with when I was out. Jill invited me to one of the Rochester Susan B. Anthony luncheons. And there's a nice picture of Jill and me and Rachel McLean, who's from Syracuse, and Susan B., the woman that portrays Susan B. Anthony in Rochester, at least. And I look back at the post and I have her cut off because she was so tall. I'm like, well, that's not really nice to cut off Susan B. Anthony's head. I mean, come on. She's like one of the main people involved with Women's History Month. So, of course, as all year long, I truly hope that you will support as many women as you can this month, especially, telling everybody else that to make sure that they buy from or hire, stop in women-owned businesses during this month. We still have a long way to go. There's still not a pay equality law. The ERA is still not passed. Oh Lord, I don't know how many Women's History Months have to go by before we can just say, "Woo! It's all taken care of. We're good. We're safe. We're set." And especially now with me having a granddaughter on the way, then it gives another whole new perspective to what can we do now to make it better for. And I know some of you are grandmothers already to girls, but gosh, what else can we do to keep advancing it in a positive way for them for the future? So just keep that in mind as Women's History Month comes. Go ahead, feel free to wear pink as much as you want. You probably won't outbling me in pink, but go for it. Send me a photo if you do. And with that being said, I am going to have Marion unmute herself. We're just going to go in order by how you joined. And you have about, 4 or 5 minutes to share the news you want to share about your business, any events coming up, anything new with you, since this is the first time we've met since December. So, and hi, Joanna, we're glad that you're here as well. So Marion, why don't you unmute yourself and give us your update there, girlfriend.
Okay. Well, I haven't met Joanna before, so I will introduce myself. My name is Marion Andrews, and I am in the Rochester, New York area, Spencerport. And right now, what I've got going on the most are the angel classes, which I started in January. We only have 3 left, which is hard to believe because it goes so fast. But they have been really, really fun, and I think that I'm certainly getting a lot out of them. The angels are in attendance in force. And some of you who are on Facebook with me saw that we had an electrical fire on Wednesday or Thursday, Wednesday. And we are by a really main high voltage power line, and that's the one that broke. So the first crews that came out couldn't touch it. They had to get the high power crews, and it burned about an hour and a half. And it was like just the hottest fire. The pictures don't do it justice because it was so hot. But it was safely out there. When it first happened, the whole house lit up and there was a huge explosion. But thankfully, I had put Archangel Michael in charge of taking care of my house in the morning, and he was guarding it. So the house didn't get even a singe. Yeah. And my friend who was here helping me, we just went out. We thought it'd be safest in the car where there's rubber and not in the house, just in case it traveled back. So we spent an hour and a half out in the car on the cold. It suddenly got cold that day too. Anyway, we're all safe and fine. And what I'm doing is a project of decluttering. Some of you know that my husband passed away in December, and he really liked a lot of stuff around everywhere. Every wall had to have things, and I'm the exact opposite, but I accommodated it. He was in the house for 50 some years, so it stayed how he was comfortable, and he had a lot of trouble seeing, so moving things was not really a good option anyway. So I am decluttering, gotten rid of the sofa in the living room, the big ugly, sorry, entertainment center. Casey's listening. And I got a nice low one, and oh, it's just, the room is cleared. We're going to paint. My friend who's 30 and got lots of energy is helping me. And so it feels already decluttering this is the year to declutter, apparently. The year of the dragon, the wood dragon, is for decluttering. So it couldn't have come at a better time for me. As far as work, I am looking and starting to pursue workshops and speaking engagements, talking about gratitude, talking about mindfulness, those two things together. The name of my book is Gloriously Grateful. So bouncing off of that theme for gratitude, I've done a couple like 20-minute talks that have been very well received. And it seems like there's a culture towards gratitude in workplaces, in businesses. So that's, I'm hoping that's going to be where I can get involved. I'm thinking even of places like, I used to do work with the Board of Education out in Alberta, Canada. So I'm thinking maybe there's opportunities for professional development days for the teachers or something like that. So if you hear of anything, anybody wants somebody, I'm here. I bring the angels, but I don't talk about them that much. I just let them wander around.
Well, I'm glad you're so positive, and that's I'm sure such a sad time to lose your husband and to even then have
Yes.
the fire down the street, but you are always a beacon of light, my friend. So
Thank you.
keep it up and let
Thank you.
us know if any of us can help you in any way, shape, or
Oh,
form.
thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's some days that are like, but
yeah, yeah. Understandable.
I hear him that he's in a very good place. He got out of all of that pain and misery that his body was giving him. And I heard him in a meditation the other day, and he said, "It's better than I thought it was gonna be."
Well, that's good news for him, for you, for all of us someday.
So
All
that's the
right.
good news. So
Yeah. Well, thank you, Marion. Appreciate having you here. Okay, let's go to, I don't know if it was Jody or Jill that came on next. Oh, no. All right, Jody, you go ahead, unmute. I'm glad you.
Okay. Marianne, I love hearing your story. I really do. And I'm so sorry that I could not take the angel class this time. I really, really wanted to take it. So I hope you do it again sometime. I know you said you weren't planning on it, but I really do want to do it. Um, I'm going to start with a little personal. In January, the very beginning of January, I hit a deer going at 55 miles an hour, and didn't see it till it was dark out. Didn't see it till it was at my windshield. Every airbag in the car deployed, so I walked away with one little scratch on my leg, and that was because the airbag below the steering wheel knocked a piece of plastic off my dashboard into my leg. If that hadn't happened, I would have walked away without a scratch, which
Oh,
I am forever so grateful for that. I mean, my angels were watching out for me, Marion. Let me tell you, they were. And I thanked them for several weeks. After about 2 or 3 weeks, I forgot to thank them anymore, but I thanked them daily for a long time. And there was, who would think that hitting a deer would be such a blessing in disguise? The insurance company obviously totaled my car. I had wanted to get a new car anyway, but as I said to Dave, well, I didn't really want to go to this extreme to get it. And we really couldn't afford a car. We've had our cars have been paid off for 2 years. We haven't had car payments in 2 years, so we couldn't afford a payment. But the insurance company gave me way more than I expected for my car. I was hoping for 57, and I thought maybe I'd get 62. They gave me $7,000 for my car. So it was enough for the down payment. And then it's Empower Credit Union. I cannot say enough about Empower Credit Union. They did so well by us. They not only gave us the car loan at a very good rate, they gave us a consolidation loan to pay off Dave's credit cards. And the difference between the credit card payments that we had been making and the consolidation loan payment that we now have to make was enough to pay the car loan. So that worked out so well. I've been telling this story so many times. There were like a couple more blessings to the thing too, but I can't remember them at the moment. So, but now 7 weeks later, so it's, I think a week and a half, was it just last week or 2 weeks ago? When did you hit the deer?
Last week.
Just last week. Okay. 7 weeks after my deer incident, a deer hit Dave's car. And literally the deer ran into Dave's car. Now, fortunately, his was not as bad as mine. It just knocked off the side view mirror. His car's in the shop. The downside of that is he's an Uber driver and he can't drive while he doesn't have his car. But that's okay. All right. So enough about personal. Oh, and by the way, when the deer hit his car, he did have an Uber passenger in the car. Nobody got hurt, minor damage, nobody got hurt. And the Uber passenger's reaction was, oh, this will be a great story to tell people. So the Uber passenger was not upset about it, which, thank you, thank you, thank you. So on to business. My business is Holy Education, and I think Joanne's probably the only one that doesn't know. I named my business Holy Education, WHOLLY, as a play on words after I discovered that the 3 words heal, HEAL, whole, HOLE, and holy, HOLY, all come from the same root word, the Old English word HAL, HAL. So I thought Holy Education was kind of a good play on those words. And I try to connect health and spirituality. I love working with health conscious women who don't realize there's a spiritual component, spiritually inclined women who don't realize there's a health component. There, as the Old English word HAL tells us, there is definitely a connection between health and spirituality. And as Marian, it all starts with gratitude. Gratitude is the foundation for everything else. I do have a workshop coming up on the 27th of March, and I will get that information to you, Tracy. It's called Feeling Stressed, Meditation Can Help. So it's an hour and a half workshop where I go over how meditation can help transform your life. Leading to the following 4 weeks are going to be not an extension, what do you call it when you spread it, when you expansion on each of there's 4 areas that I'm going to cover in the original one, and then each topic after that goes over each individual area on meditation: physical benefits, emotional benefits, mental benefits, spiritual benefits. So, and how those can all help you. So that, like I said, March 27th, it's an hour and a half. It's $77. Then the other 4 classes are each an hour, and that's going to be $277. But if you sign up for the original one and then sign up for the other 4, the $77 that you paid for the first one gets credited to the $277, so it's only $200.
Yeah.
So if you or anybody you know might be interested in that, please let me know. Are you sending out anything with emails on it or no? Or no, we don't do emails, do we?
If I don't mind if it's members, when we used to have general sessions, it was tough sharing email addresses. And then I didn't do a contact list for this group just because so many of you are already know each other, but I'm happy to do one and send it by Monday.
All right. Well, I just put my email address in the chat. So if you know anybody, referrals, I really would appreciate referrals. I don't have a big list to send things out to. So if you know anybody that might be interested in that. That's all that's going on with my business right now. Oh, in addition, I should probably mention that in addition to my online retreats that I do, I'm also a wedding officiant. So if you know anybody might be getting married, maybe got, I don't know, children, grandchildren, whatever. And I live in Seneca Falls. I do a 50-mile radius, which takes me as far as Ithaca, Syracuse, Rochester, all in the Finger Lakes area. I am also a piano teacher. And I have students in Syracuse. I have students here in Seneca Falls. I have students in Geneva. So I travel with that too. What else do I do? I'm also a health coach. Health coach, wedding officiant, piano teacher, online retreats. I think that's it. All right. I think I've covered everything, Tracy.
All right. Well, there we go. Multi-talented woman right there, Jody Brown. And I'll make sure that I put together a contact list since Joanna is new in this kind of phone call situation. And I'll make sure it gets out to everybody by Monday at the latest. So
Thank you
thank
so
you very
much. I
much.
appreciate that.
Yeah. Thanks, Jody. All right, Jill, I think you were next. All the J's here are kind of, well, Joanne will, lots of J's here today in the phone call, but go ahead, Jill. It's all you.
Hi, everybody. Yeah, I know most of you except for Joanne. Is it Joanne?
Joanna.
Joanna. I am in Rochester, New York. I'm a realtor, and I so appreciate when Tracy said Jill and Jody because I have a sister named Jody, and it just brought back memories of my mom saying Jill and Jody. Anyways, I I have had my real estate license for a number of years. I had another business previous. I closed shop. My last day was December 31st, 2019, and it was a bridal business. So I very often thank the angels, the spirits above, that I closed my bridal shop the end of 2019, because 2020 and 2021 were not a place to be for many businesses, especially bridal. So I know the angels are around me. I am taking the class from Mary, and I love it. Things happen things that happen to you sometimes are hard to explain. I love Jody's deer story, how one negative can bring several positives. So I like to look at that. I like to look at life that way. So that's how I'm kind of looking at my real estate business. There is a lot of negatives because there happens to be a lot of buyers and not enough sellers, which I'm in a good position because I'm on a team. And so my team leader is my daughter. She's the one that runs the show. So I kind of go with the flow. I fill in the gaps. I look for clients, of course. And, but it's just so hard to believe that there's not enough houses. And, I look at these young people, and I worked with a big group of millennials and went through quite a few of them. It was my son and his friends. They all, I found many of them houses. And so now I'm always looking for buyers. However, I'm kind of directing my focus. I'm directing my attention to sellers. So I'm not giving up on buyers, but the money is where the money is sellers. So then I thought to myself, okay, there's always going to be buyers and sellers, no matter what the market's doing. The sellers that I think I need to reach out to are the parents of the millennials, which would be people like my age, give and take a few years, either side. So, I can reach out so that's a group I can reach out to. People getting divorced. That's a whole market that I believe is going to need help with real estate. The aging population, the boomers, and us boomers that are aging, we're not getting old. We're just aging. So thankfully for spirituality and physical fitness out there, that's helping us keep our youthful ability. Anyways, so the parents, the boomer parents, divorce, and then job relocation. So last year I had a couple listings, which are awesome because that's the easiest part of my job as a listing. So I had a couple of those. One was my personal trainer. So I lost her. She moved out of the area. Another one was a home that we rented for quite a few summers in a row through an Airbnb. She sold, which was great. It was over a $500,000 house, but I had to find another place on the lake, which we did. So the way that I'm getting listings is kind of unique, and I really, really appreciate it, believe me. But so I guess that's really bottom line is that's what I'm looking for. People that want their, and even if they're not ready to list it, maybe they're ready a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, they got to start to declutter, which I'm doing the same thing, Marion. And it just if they need real estate information. I love giving the information. I don't know everything. Almost every week I learn something new about real estate, which is just amazing. So if I don't know the answer, I can find someone that does. So just an educational thing. If they don't, if they already have a realtor, I understand in the Monroe County area and surrounding area, there's over 3,000 of us.
Wow.
So competition is pretty good. However, our team was number 36 out of 3,000.
Oh, awesome.
So I think we're doing something right. Anyways, that's my story. And it was so great to see everybody. I haven't been able to make the last few meetings with Tracy here on the membership. So thanks for having this, Tracy.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for joining us, and send Jenny my love as well, because I miss
Will
seeing
do.
her. Oh, geez. See, you did well. You had only like 2 seconds to go, and it bing went off here.
Wow.
Yeah, good going. All right. Lori, we can't smell the coffee when you unmute yourself, but we know that there's fresh coffee brewing at your coffee shop right
Yes, there is. Yeah. Well, hello, Joanna. Welcome. And welcome, ladies. It's always fun to see you. I love hearing your stories. So what's new? I'm still working. I have one, Joanna, for you. I'm sorry, my name Lori D. Prospero. I own Union Place Coffee Roasters in Rochester, New York. We're just entering our 11th year. And every time I see these ladies, I say, I'm going to retire. I'm going to retire. So one of these days I will retire. But I'm in a really, really good place in that I'm doing one more big project. We are doing a little construction, putting the espresso machine in. So that'll change things a little bit. And I've hired a lovely lady who's very strong on beverages. Yay for the ladies. And she's been here. This is her 3rd week. I think she's a really, really good fit. So I mean, I've been so lucky in that, I've never had to like put an ad out on Indeed to find anybody or anything like that. I mean, I just kind of put it out to the universe. Like I'm looking for this kind of person. And I mean, man, they just show up. I'm like, and this, and this young lady, she just happened to come in. She was, at one of the neighbor stores. And she said, oh, I didn't even know you were here. And I just came back to town. I'm living in Florida and, looking to get back in the coffee business. I was like, oh, anyway, so that's a good thing. And, what else is new? Marion, for you, we started, I was going to put you on the email list, but, my friend Esther, who does astrology and she teaches over at the Purple Door every now and again. We started this little astrology group and she wanted to keep it small. So I didn't put it out to my public list or anything like that. So it was just kind of a little word of mouth. And so we had our first little gathering last Thursday. It was so much fun. And the vibes in the room, I mean, there was only I think there was 7 of us and she kind of wants to keep the group to under 12. And I mean, just the vibes of the room were so warm and welcoming and like-minded. Oh my God, it was so, so fun. But so they want to continue on Thursdays from 6 to 8 p.m. And, so we'll just keep rolling with it. And, we'd love to have you come and, check it out. And, I mean, nobody's paying for anything at this point. So, I mean, Esther, who's leading it is, she just loves to do it. So, yeah, but if you want to come in and talk about some of your classes or something, I think that would be so fun.
So it's at your place on Thursday?
It's at my place, Thursday
Okay.
night, last Thursday of the month. I'll send you an email.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah.
It sounds like a fun group to belong to, and I need to keep reaching out because it's real easy to just stay home and become a hermit.
Yeah, totally. I get you. Yeah.
So it's
I'm
Marion.
on the other end of the spectrum. I want to
You're-
stay home and do nothing. Yeah. I mean, not nothing, but you guys are
Yes.
talking about, reorganizing and decluttering. And I'm like, oh my God, that's like my dream right now is to do that.
Yeah.
Because my last kid just left the house and he did take a lot of stuff with him. So I was happy about that. But yeah, there's just so much and
Yeah, shoot me an email. I'd love to
okay.
go.
Yeah, I will definitely do that. And Sadie, I'll see you in Florida next week. I'm leaving tomorrow. My third trip since December. So, so I've got this place really running really smooth without me. And that was my goal. And I'm just keeping my fingers crossed that it continues to do that. So,
I think it will. I think it will. And I'd love to, even if one time, maybe this summer, we can find a time for, I want to come, get out to Rochester.
yeah, we'd love to.
Yeah. And do,
Mhm.
I don't know if it would be an official, well, I'll save that I'll let the rest of you go and then I'll chat at the end about women's ties. How about
Yeah.
that? All right. Thank you. Have a wonderful trip to Florida.
I will. Thank you.
Okay. All right, Sadie Ann, that's you, Florida girl.
Okay. Where in Florida, by the way, Lori?
Well, actually, I'm going to go to Miami and get on a cruise. And so this cruise is a celebration with my sisters for the sister who just finished up a double mastectomy and chemo and all the things. And so this is I'm done with chemo trip. So
Good for you. That's
that'll be a
terrific.
nice celebration. And then we'll go back to West Palm for a couple days.
Okay. Well, I'm on the other coast, or I would propose a gathering.
I've never been there. I'd love to go.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we're in Clearwater, Bel Air.
All right.
Keep me in mind. Okay. So I guess it's my turn. First, I want to shout out for the Angels and Marion. This is my second course. And I am loving it. And last week was so incredible for me with the angels. I couldn't believe it. I had to write a letter to Marion and tell her all about it. But I was very focused and I was picking angel cards that were so relative to me at this time and working. Totally work. I mean, I love the angels. They are real. They help me so much in so many ways. Last week was the first week that I felt really, really, really pumped about it. And now I'm in love with all the angels. And I'm loving this course. And I will take every course Marion teaches on the angels. So keep that in mind, Marion. And so I'm Sadie Ann for Joanna's sake, Sadie Ann Spear, and I have a nutrition kind of a business through Market America, if you've heard of Market America. Um, it's a product brokerage and internet marketing company, and I focus on the nutritional area. And I've kind of backed off a little bit because I was sort of trying to edge my way into some sort of a semi-retirement. But a few weeks ago, I got this email from my company saying that someone has left the company and they are turning over their customers to me. It was a list of 100 names.
Oh,
So
nice.
like, okay, what do I do with this? So I really didn't do anything because I'm still kind of thinking about it. But in the meantime, I've had 2 or 3 very good orders out of the blue from people on that list. So those are the ones I'll just react to initially and welcome and let them know who I am and if they have any questions. But that's just really amazing how things like that happen. And I just, I've always said I love and respect this company. So that just even cemented it further. But and then there's my personal life, which I'm now in Florida most of the time, most of the year, except in the summers. I'll never give up New York State for the summers. It couldn't be more beautiful than up there. So I decided to join our board of directors for our condo association. And boy, did I dive in head first. It is so much work. I'm getting a lot of good feedback though, because a lot of the work I've been doing is communication. And I love doing communication stuff. I like doing newsletters, and I had a volunteer resident who is in graphic design come to me and say, if you want some help with a newsletter, I'd be happy to do it. And it was, again, like an angel was on my shoulder and dropped this person in my lap, because she did a beautiful job. And I did give her credit in the newsletter for that. And we're getting such good feedback. It's really kind of interesting because the information is the same information with pictures and cute little graphics. Everybody's going crazy. Oh, this is the best thing. This is beautiful. The great information. People are reading it. That was the whole idea. So that's kind of fun. And then I also did a directory, my second one in 2 years. So 2 years in a row, they are getting a directory in the first month of the year. And everybody is like, oh my God, we haven't had an annual directory since I've been here, 20 years or whatever. So they're just very happy to know who's next door to them and who their neighbors are. And when they run into strangers and they say their name, they can look them up and see where they live. So it's been interesting and challenging. And I feel I've taken on an instant leadership role because I was thrown into it as vice president. They asked me to be treasurer, and I said, no way am I going to be treasurer. There's none, zero. You don't want me treasurer. So they said, well, how about president? I said, president? I don't even know how things function. So I took the vice president, and that is more than enough.
Yeah.
And
And I think we
encourage
owe you a happy 90th or 90th. Oh my God, happy 80th birthday. I jumped ahead. You were doing so
happy
much that I
birthday.
thought, she turned 80 in January, right?
February.
February, I'm
February.
sorry.
Wow.
We had a party in January with all the
Okay.
kids.
Yeah, I remember saying that. So, well, wow, why slow down when you hit another decade? I think that's the
There's
message
no
here.
reason. No reason, right? Exactly. No, not slowing down any way, shape, or form. And I've also accomplished getting them to have 2 meetings a month, at least for the next 3 or 4 months. There's so much that we need to do. And the reason I got on the board is sitting at meetings month after month and hearing, oh, we'll tell you more about that next month, and not hearing anything. So now that I'm on the board, I know why, because 1 meeting a month is not enough.
Mm-hmm.
People don't gather their thoughts until 3 or 4 days before the meeting, and so nothing gets done. So now the president has sort of tossed me into it, said, well, you go ahead and run that. Okay.
So you can always say no if you feel like you need to, even though you've pulled the chair up to the table, which I can't remember. It's an African-American politician, female, that used to say that if you wanted, to make change, that you had to make room and pull the chair up to the table. So you have done that. It sounds like you're very competent. So you're probably going to keep elevating you. Maybe you should run for president of the United States. I think you're right in the age group. You could do it. I think you're a female. That's a good thing about age.
I wouldn't envy anybody in that position. Oh my gosh.
Well, thank you so much for joining us from Florida, my dear, and giving us your update, and keep rocking. It sounds like you're doing great down there.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good.
And I want to be a role model. That was always my goal. Once my kids had kids, I wanted to be a friend to them and a role model. And I feel like I am.
Mhm.
They wrote a song. One of my granddaughters wrote a song for the birthday party for me that she coordinated with all the granddaughters and their mothers to sing to me to the tune of 9 to 5.
Aw.
Great. It was really great. They did such a great job. I couldn't
Wow.
believe it.
Well, very well deserving. And the next time we are together, you get to sing it for us.
Oh, okay, yeah.
All right. Well,
I'd send you a copy of it.
okay.
You can practice.
You can do that. That sounds great. Well, thank you, Sadie Ann, very much for your updates. And we'll go over to Joanna, who I know she's here in Syracuse, but I'll let her explain herself and what she does. It's nice to see you.
Well, thank you, Tracy. It's nice to see you. And I know this might be a transitional year for you because I do get your emails. I am a financial advisor at Wells Fargo Advisors, and I've been here 15 years, but I've been in the industry a long time, like 30. I don't even want to say it. It's like 30 years, right? I wore pink today, and I've been wearing more pink because I realize, I'm at my office, but I also got new client folders because I said, you know what, this week, 4 women are coming in as new clients. And I said, you know what? It's time for pink.
It is.
It's time for pink. It's
Yay.
past time for pink. I'm interested to hear all of your inspirational stories. I drink tea and I got a tea bag the other day and it says, know that you are a child of the universe on the little tea thing. And I think I just hit 54 this year. And I think what I'm waking up to realize is that, you know, you can have anything you want in life as long as you set your mind to it and you keep your positivity and creativity and spirit open. Because I work with investments and I do goals-based financial planning and I invest money in the stock market, and there's like a lot of fear and greed out here. I just have to send that to the voicemail. So one thing I noticed about a habit from clients and myself is that you tend to get sucked into the news and sucked into what's negative out here. And now this is the geopolitical situation with international, and then this year's the presidency changing. So you can become very fear-based as you age, and you can listen to those messages, or you can say, you know what? Those will always be here. So the awakening, I think, that happens in your 50s is the awakening to self, another development, and listening to positive creativity and shutting out the noise of negativity.
Mhm.
So nobody taught me that. I've kind of matured to it. But I have a lot of the young me used to be fearful, like, am I going to win business or lose business? Well, what if I lose it? Then am I going to not have enough? Nope, no more. Right. So it's interesting to hear that your stages of where you are now, wisdom of age has taught you. Now you can see the beauty of things. But who woke up this morning in central New York in Syracuse and I saw blue sky, beautiful powdery snow from a nor'easter or whatever we had the other day. And the day that I had Wednesday, was it Wednesday or Tuesday, when I had somebody said, yep, we're moving money to you. We're going to come. I was like, wait, shouldn't we like hang on and analyze? And my husband's business, his light post in his parking lot, huge, 50 foot up. He owns a hardware store. Drive there at the end of the day. He goes, oh my God, you've got to come over. The light post fell completely out of the ground. And I was like, the same day that like I had like this big new client come, like, okay. And then the next morning I saw a cardinal at my window, right? So I'm waking up to seeing what you're talking about. And so I really appreciate hearing your stories. So thank you. And Tracy, thank you for all these years of bringing women together in like-minded ways. And women doing business with women is so powerful and compounding So I kind of joined in today because I said, wait a minute, Tracy, you can't go away. What's next? The other thing I would say this year personally for me is because COVID, we got lazy, body fat increased, we're older, look at your cholesterol. I said, wait a minute. I love being outdoors. I love playing tennis. I love move. And so I started to move like no questions asked 4 days a week, whether it's never on a treadmill, but whether it's out in nature, whatever, move, right? Get up. And getting up has helped me personally and professionally reinvent my energy, which I've always had, but I went dormant for a while. So now that I've woken up that part of myself, the physical, my clothes fit better. I'm going, no, I can't have pizza and ice cream. You got to have your broccoli and your salad. You can have pizza once in a while, but do something nice for your body, right? So that's the end of my story. I'm in DeWitt, Wide Waters Parkway. I'm licensed in 14 states. I do Microsoft Teams. So if you know somebody that's looking for investment advice, financial planning, hey, I want to retire. What does that look like? Should I take my Social Security? Should I wait? That's me. So we can share contact details with you, and I appreciate you listening. So thank you.
Thank you, Joanne. It's so wonderful. I love when I say, because I've known Joanna for a while, who's going to pop in and from all the different, because it's been almost 30 years that I've been promoting women in business here in Central New York. And in one way, shape, or form. So it's still, I'm not, so anyways, I just want to say thank you for joining today. It was so nice.
Well, Tracy, I mean, I don't know what year it was, if it was 2004 or 5, I was working for Key Private Bank in their trust and investment group. And somebody downtown on Warren Street said, hey, do you want to go to this lunch? Tracy Higginbotham, it was at the State Tower building, I think, right?
Yes.
And so I said, oh, that's cool. So now it's 2024, and that's a long time. So I remember all of your energy and bringing people together in the rooms full of everybody. And I remember Jill Bates from your other businesses. I remember your name, Jill. So it's a long time, and it's really a legacy that you've created, and circles of empowerment is just really the testament. I mean, just dealing with people and money. Look, you can always make more money, but when you pass away, you could have your family fighting over it. It could pay your bills, doesn't make you happy. But what is the imprint that you want to leave from the business that you're in now? And I think that for me, Tracy, you gave me that imprint of, yeah, you can do it. Yeah, find somebody that, if you can't do it, find a service. So long story short, last story is that I'm like sick of cooking, and I still have like young 20-year-olds in college and they're home eating. So I said, oh my gosh, let me go to the Women's Ties website. So I looked up personal chef. There's somebody in Albany that would actually, you can pay and she can run meals to your house. And I was like, oh my God, I would want that in Syracuse, and that's because you connected to the group. So thanks again.
Oh, thank you so much. It makes me feel good because I've, a lot of what motivated me to semi-retire, I guess, I don't even know the proper word to call it, was just that, when you're just with COVID hitting too, the number of people that were coming to attendance, and, you can't really prove really how many women are following the mission of buying and hiring from others unless somebody tells me. There was really never a way to calculate that. So based on membership numbers, either going down from the financial perspective, the statistical analysis, and how many people were coming and how many more organizations there are, that's part of when I made the decision, plus losing all of this, to do it. But I'm still so connected to the women that I've helped for so many years that's why Women's Ties is still up. The directory is still up. I'm still trying to figure out how I could possibly just keep that up and going for longer, so the directory is there, and maybe even add people that haven't paid, because I haven't had a member pay in a long time. So, I have my
I know,
accounting.
and I was thinking, because we have all these filters at work, and so I said, "Oh my gosh, like I haven't seen something from Tracy. Maybe it's going through those filters. It's getting jammed in there." And then I saw your email. I said, "No, she's reinventing what she wants to do next." And that's what I see with a lot of women in particular. The women, the last 4 clients, the new clients this last week, they're all between 60 to 67, and they're like transitioning in that bridge of, I want to do something, but now it's my choice, right? Not I have to, I don't have to provide, but now it's my choice. So I think the retirement of the Edith and Archie bunker is gone, right?
Mhm.
But we still want to have fun, and we're getting older, the window changes. So you want to make sure that you can enjoy it.
Right, absolutely. And there's more and more women that are actually, so instead of doing, I've been we stopped monthly meetings like this, but I promised I would do this quarterly one, and I'm happy to do quarterly ones if that is of interest for all of you. I mean, it's not hard for me to be able to do it. And then, we had our accounting appointment yesterday, so my husband, who's still working full time, sort of like,
Yeah.
find a new job. And I'm like, oh, new job. I still work. I still do things. And I'm doing women's athletic events, honey. What are you talking about? But I understand what he means. So, whether I'll do marketing services or PR for some people or help with writing, which I got rehired to do a wedding consultant for one of my son's friends. I haven't done a wedding in a long time, but they wanted me to do it. So I said, sure, I'll grab out the old event planning mindset and do it. And it's been great. So keep me in mind if you need any of those services, because I'm still not, I'm still going between the athletic events, trying to keep Women Ties, the directory up and going, and being able to fund that. And then just kind of seeing where the angels want to direct me to go. So I'm still here. If anybody needs anything, I get calls still for referrals. I appreciate the fact, Joanna, that you mentioned, I always hope the mission of Women Ties stays, poor Susan B. Anthony, I talked about it earlier. She never had the chance to vote. She worked so hard to try to get women the right to vote, and yet herself never fulfilled that ability to be able to do that. So it takes such a long time to change the world. And in light of, and I don't want to get into politics because I love everybody and everybody has a right to their own opinion, but holy crap, I wonder if there'll be a Women's History Month next year, depending on what happens. So, it's really up to women to change the world for women. Men don't get the struggles we've had. They don't understand the difference between our paychecks being that much less than somebody else, or a man, that women can't get the same job as the men have. I'm glad to see the sports world is changing, and the people like Steph Curry and some LeBron James and some of the men are saying, hey, I'm really interested in women's sports, because you need those advocates. And I remember hearing from the Susan B. Anthony girls that really men were instrumental in helping women to get the right to vote. So we still need to be working with them, but I honestly believe the world will not change for women unless we are vocal about it. We buy from each other. We are committed to each other in all aspects of equality. And so that's really my mission. If somebody wanted to ever hire me just to say that over and over again around the world, I'm sure there's other people that say that. But the feminist side of buying from women, the business side, is really important. So just if you can keep that in mind, that's an honor, I guess, to my legacy if that can keep happening. I do want to say that one of our members, Andy Simon, who's got a PhD, she's an author. I don't know how many of you have met her or not. She's out of the Westchester area. Really super well connected with a lot of women in corporate America through the Women's Collaborative Network. She has a new book out. They interviewed 100 women in business, and Andy said she'd love to come on and speak with all of us and share some of those tips. I could do it as an event. I'm nervous about not having enough people for her. So I just wondered in general, if you would be interested in that and hearing from her and what they have found. So it sounds like it. So I'll see if I can get her to I'll see what her calendar is and try to line it up. she's an amazing woman. She really is very, very supportive, very smart, owns a business called Simon Associates with her husband. She's what's it called? A business anthropologist. And so helps businesses find the things that they're missing, that's missing within their company, and then helps them see it and put it together. But really
What's the
well
name of her
connected.
book, Tracy?
What?
What's the name of her book?
I knew you were gonna, you know what, as I
Oh,
put my
sorry.
notes down, I will send that I will send it as a
Okay.
follow-up. Yep. And it's her second book, but it's in collaboration with a woman named Edie Frazier, who's the head of the Women's Business Collaborative. There's a lot of people there. So let me do follow-up, Andy Simon's book. Okay. She's great. She's just wonderful.
And what was her first name?
It's Andrea. She goes by Andy Simon.
Oh.
Her husband's name is Andrew. So it's Andy. It's Andy and Andy, or Andrea and Andrew. Simon, and it's Simon Associates. They're out of the Westchester County area. And she's just an amazing woman, very positive, very, very well connected. So we'll see if we can get her, find a date that's good for her and for all of us. And I'll line that up. Thank you. I had one other thing I wanted to mention. Oh, just with the Women's Athletic Network, we do have, if you ever wanted to try fencing. Are you all looking at my pencil going, what is she doing? That's the closest as I have to a sword. See, Joanna, maybe I've lost it a little bit in the time that you've been around. But that was my point. We're really having a great time. We did parasailing, and some of the women that said I would never do another athletic event again are coming back and doing more. So if you're ever interested in doing something fun, we did snow yoga. Lori missed that one, but we had done stand-up paddleboard yoga to talk about how women really bond stronger through these kind of shared experiences. And not every sport is right for everyone, but it is still a really cool way to get women together from all over. And there seems to be a lot of women interested in fencing. So instead of the Three Musketeers, or it will be the whatever female musketeers, all for one and one for all. It should just be the theme of women ties anyways. It's here in Syracuse, Joanna, so you should come. But it's going to be on a Saturday, so it's open for anybody that wants to try. And then just, we'll get Andy up at least. We'll do another quarterly meeting if you want to do that, and then look for the athletic events. And that's pretty much everything I have. I'll meet you just because our time's super close. It was everybody did perfect on their verbiage and timing and everything. Is there anything anybody else wants to say or ask anybody else in this group?
I just wanted to comment on Tracy with her athletic. I do a lot of networking, and I would do the typical cup of coffee, go for lunch. But lately I've been walking the canal for what I call a walk and talk. Mm-hmm. So effective. All the women that I've approached so far about it love it, and it keeps us moving, Joanna.
It is, yeah. It's great. And if something doesn't work out schedule wise, or somebody's not interested, that's all right. You know what I mean? I did a polar plunge in Quebec. That was actually pretty fun, I must tell you. It was cold, but I did it 3 times. And then you go into a sauna. So there's a whole thermal cycle. It's really good for you. Did not make my hair grow. Hey, you never know what'll trigger it to grow. Shock to the system. Hair pops up, no. But we'll keep trying things to see what works. But anything else from anybody before we go? A couple minutes? Yep.
I just want to ask you, Tracy, can you stay on the call a few minutes after everybody leaves? Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, everyone. Well, thank you so much for being here. I loved seeing you all. I'm so happy.
Thank you. We love you.
Making my month, and we'll be back in touch. I'll come up with a date for Andy Simon, and we'll get on with her and learn a little bit. But I'll send the sales contact list out by Monday so that you all have that connection with emails. You all don't care if I share emails, so I'll send emails. And whatever else I promised, I'll make sure I get out to you on Monday as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Tracy, you're always welcome to come back and have a gathering.
Okay, I will.
Okay.
I'm feeling it in my heart. So.
All right. Okay.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Go get him, CDN.
So what I wanted to ask you, Tracy, is my downfall
Yeah.
is, did you turn the recording off?
Oh, no. Let me do that. I was trying to, I was following her. Let me do stop video. Did it say stop? No, where are we?